Hi, I'm George Ravari from Knowledge Tree Consulting. I've run a business for 38 years in the industry in Toronto, Canada. I've also had a construction business called Solid Space Construction, had a holding company, and now I have a consulting company. I'm here to help people get better and learn from my journey to turnkey business states. So the best investments a small business can make. So it comes down to the risk, it comes down to the reward and the effort. Essentially, what you want to do is low risk, low effort, high reward. Pretty simple. It's kind of counterintuitive. The first thing I would do is I would buy the absolute best equipment brand new that I could. I wouldn't buy used. I have strategies for buying used, which I can get into later. If you buy a new piece of equipment and it's awesome, it will be like 10 employees. It won't complain. It'll show up every single day, and it's a decision. It requires no effort to get an awesome piece of equipment. It's literally your highest return on investment. If something goes bad and you buy an awesome piece of equipment, it's really easy to sell. If you use it for a year and you sell something you bought it for $100,000 and you sell it for $20,000 less, the good news is you didn't lose $20,000 because hopefully you build $20,000 for the piece of equipment throughout the year. So really, equipment is your lowest risk, and I wouldn't try and save money on that. It's machines are mechanical employees. Best thing you can do. The second thing I would do is I would pay for talent. The best companies I see have the highest paid talent. They're not making money because they're squeezing the life of their employees. They literally have amazing talent. So when you have somebody amazing, the first thing you want to do is make sure you secure them. On the SWOT analysis, when we look at people, the question I always ask is, what are the risks of you losing your talent? And if it's because you're cheap, that is short-sighted. I've seen that mistake over and over again. I would rather take a hit on profit than lose an incredible employee. I can tell you that right now. And what I mean by an incredible employee is somebody who cares, is curious, and has capacity, and is a team player. So, if you've got that, you should be very wary because the marketplace looks for talent like that, and so you can't be short-sighted. Another thing that I would do is I would double down on technology. So there's a lot of softwares out there that you can look at. There are apps, all kinds of things that make your user experience and your client experience and your employee experience much better. Reduce the administration. If you dial that stuff in and you spend the money on it, you'll save it in hours and hours of work. It may not translate into dollars saved necessarily, but it's going to translate into hours saved, which allows you to focus on other things rather than doing menial tasks. Another thing that I think I would do is I would get my books set up properly, proper financial setup. That means most of you that have your books up there are going to have to scrap everything and start again. It's a bit of a pain. And if you get that cleaned up, then you'll be able to understand your numbers, because most people don't understand their numbers. Imagine you're in business and most people don't understand their numbers. That is something that I find mind-boggling. If I ask the question, can you tell me exactly what an income statement is or a balance sheet, and you cannot, then you definitely need help. And it's not rocket science. And if you get this stuff down, it's literally game-changing. I don't know any businesses that do well that do not understand their financials. So if you want to do well, somebody can walk you through that and really get you to another level of understanding. But it doesn't help if you have in your chart of accounts, other or miscellaneous expense, and there's $150,000 in there, and we don't know where the money went. Like, where did the money go? So those are four things that you can actually really double down on, that really, once you set them up, just have an enormous benefit to the business recurring over time. If you're really good at the equipment side, you're actually going to make money when you sell the equipment. On our side of the story, I'll just give you a personal anecdote. We had, I think we bought an F750, 3 F650s, aluminum dump boxes, all kitted up with toolboxes. We bought one of the trucks for $150,000. We used it for 4 years. Then we leased it out for $35,000 a year for 2 years, and then we sold it after that for $120,000. So, we're actually not just in a construction or landscaping business. We're also in buying and selling equipment. And, if you buy new and you buy it right, everybody still wants that piece of equipment even after it's been lightly used. So you got to know when to sell it. You don't want to drive it into the ground. I see companies with equipment that is just beaten into the ground. And when I look at their balance sheets, yeah, they're profitable, but they haven't built their balance sheet. So there's a nuance to how much money you make and then building your net worth. And assets, if you have good assets, really help build your balance sheet. So a lot of companies miss that. They're literally just on a savings mindset, and they don't understand the correlation between savings and investment.